So in this video, I'm going to talk about how actually my home phone SIP system just works like with enterprise Cisco firmware phone and FreePBX SIP system. So FreePBX system, it acts my core SIP gateway or the whole SIP system in my home setup. So it's able to connect and bridging these Cisco phones and handle other requests like the hold music and the paging. So it's a open source software and free, and it does provide enterprise stability. So we need a PSTN trunk to trunk outside the traditional FXO line. So FreePBX does not give you the ability to do that. It's only a software. And my local ISP, which is Hong Kong PCCWHKT, just doesn't give me the ability to do that. So I can't do that just using the network. So in some other regions like mainland, you can just use the SIP account and just register the SIP account. So everything is done. And we need another FXO gateway to trunk the bridge to transfer these analog signal to digital signal to let you able to call PSTN line, answer the call from your Cisco phone. So this is how to connect the Cisco SPA8800. The FXX port provides 48 volt power out, I remember, I think. And you can just connect your traditional phones and be bridged to a PBX system, so you can convert your traditional phone to digital phones, or not digital phones, it's just bridge used with the PBX systems. And FXO ports give you the ability to connect to PSTN lines, connect outside. So the SPA8800 actually provide 4 FXO ports. And the RJ45 network ports give you the ability to connect the PBX system and SPA8800. So this Cisco SPA8800 is actually a quite old SIP gateway. So I just picked it at Hong Kong second-hand market around 200 Hong Kong dollars, which is around 30 US dollars, so very cheap. But it's a 2009 manufactured voice gateway, but Cisco actually manufactured it from 2009 to 2019. So you can say it's very long life gateway, but it's needed to be EOL, so it's not recommended to put into production area, but I just use it as I think it's very stable gateway. And I do a trunk on the FreePBX side, so able to make SIP calls here, and also the dual plans being set up to identify which calls need to be trunked out to the out of the FreePBX system to trunk to the SPA8800. And the Cisco Enterprise, we need to let the Cisco Enterprise phone firmware to work with the FreePBX systems. So these Cisco firmwares are designed to use very expensive Cisco COCM license or COCM systems, which is very hard. You are very hard to deploy in your home, as it costs like tons of US dollars every year. So Cisco actually provides 2 options for their phones. One is the normal, you can get phones at enterprise COCM firmware, and another choice is the 3PCC, which is called third-party call control. So you have a web page for the Cisco phone, so you can able to configure like the extension numbers, where is your SIP server's IP address. You provide the web UI to do that. That's a 3PCC. Actually, you can do a 3PCC upgrade from enterprise firmware. It's free, totally free. Oh no, not free. So it costs money. So it's free to convert 3PCC to enterprise firmware, but you can't convert enterprise to 3PCC without tons of license fees. So that's why the 3PCC version of these Cisco phones are usually much more expensive when being compared to enterprise firmware. And I haven't seen any high-level Cisco phones being using the 3PCCU when they have been manufactured as Cisco wants you to purchasing or use the CUCM system. So this is how the back, how I register the enterprise firmware Cisco phone. Not the MPP here, not the MPP. It's an enterprise Cisco phone system to the FreePBX. CUCM actually just provides you an UI, and it just deploys the TFTP server background and throws a zip config file. So the phone just register to this file and get. So this is the config file here. I just added here. So just read this config file, by the TFTP servers. So actually you can handwrite the whole zip config files and tell the phone where is the PBX system. So you can see the IP address here. Here is my FreePBX IP addresses, and it just register normally. So the phone doesn't know. No, it's not CUCM. You just think, oh, it's a zip server. So please check this website. You can find it online. So it will help you a lot while writing your config file. And we need a TFTP server to allow the phone to grab config, wallpaper, ringtone, deal pan, or anything else like other configs. So on Windows, so temporary deployment or testing, you can just use the TFTP 64 like I use, or just for long time deployment, I also use the C-Knowledge NAS, the DSM, to deploy the TFTP server. So let everything just grab normally and stable. And this is my living room phone. So the living room deployment is very easy. I have a PoE switch there, so I just plug in with a Cat6 cables. The whole phone is only cost me like $12 very cheap. And it's a 999 phone. So it gives me abilities like the fast deals, the BLF, and multi-line setups in the phones. So the BLF refer to busy live field, so you can see either it's calling or it's just ringing. So say a few times they're trying to call everybody, and it's a very new phone. So 8800 series by Cisco haven't been UL, so it's very new. So the firmware or the local problem is very easy to solve. You can just download everything by free Cisco account on Cisco firmware downloader. It does not limit you to download everything here. And the problem is another of my living room need to deploy a zip phone, but due to space and cable management limitation, why the PoE deployment is not allowed there. So I need to find a Wi-Fi zip phone to deploy here, and I would like to choose the Cisco solution. So I like its logo as a Cisco fans or something like that. So I just found the 8800 series with Wi-Fi. So there's two models of the 8800 series that you could with Wi-Fi, which is the 8861 and 8865. But it costs too much in my area. So it's cost at $80. I think it's super expensive just purchasing a zip phone. So I found the CP-9971, cost me $8 only, so very cheap. And it does equip with Wi-Fi, very interesting phone. And I found it provides a video camera with an HD video camera, so I'm able to make HD video calls on my phones and other SIP software, so soft phones. So I can just do a soft HD videos call to that phone, so my parents or my friends can answer my calls and see my face. But there's a lot of problem faced while trying to set up the 9971 because it's a very, very old phone. It's released around 2113, I think. So no WAP protocol is supported by this phone. So the first problem you face is you can't connect your phone to the internet. So no wireless connection capability before, and the phone has just been EOL by Cisco. So it's very hard to find a firmware for the phone. So Cisco just remove everything's firmwares from the site if the device will be EOL. So I just not like that. And the phone's having some interesting problems. Well, communication with country problems when doing communication to my Huawei AirEngine series access point. So also I have to solve that on the Huawei side. And I found these old phones does not able to get the correct PoE level, like the correct AO2.3 PoE level. And this phone need 30 watt, which is the AO2.3 AT. But I use a 30 watt PoE injector actually, but it just caused problem. It just not recognize the 30 watt power. Just got 50.4, and the phone just does not update, and the video camera just not work. So I'm solving these problems. First, open a SSID at Huawei site and set up a MAC or FAN on that SSID. So that SSID is an open network, so no encryption. So I have no other way. So maybe I can use other encryption way later if I have time, like the EAPTLS. And I found the phone firmware online, and I think it's Reddit. So I just flashed the phone into newest firmware, solving that interesting bugs. And I also found a DC adapter at secondhand market, which is at 48 volt 1A, and I DIY the DC port, and the phone just works. And it has enough power to do the update and enable other accessories like the USB camera or the video call features. And I also found other very interesting features on the 9971. So actually you can search access point, find access point on the phone, and do like the investigating how the whole wireless network just works like. And a lot of information about your wireless network you can see there. And it does equipped with roaming product, very interesting. So you can just grab your phone and walk around, it will just roam. Very interesting, but because this phone does not designed to walk around, as it does not provide a battery, you need a 48 volt PoE or DC adapter. So this is how my home's phone system just works like, and we'd like to check the mind map. So this is the mind map of my home PBX system. So right here you can see it's the PSTN line just comes in to the Cisco SPA8800 gateway, and it comes into my PBX system. And the PBX system is run based on the HP DL ProLiant DL380 server, and it install Proxmox. So Kubo's VM running in the FreePBX is a VM running inside the DL380s, and I connect the PoE switch in my network. The 8841 just bridge into the PoE switch, and the other 8 access point also comes in to the PoE switch. And the 9971 wireless connect to my access point. So this is how this whole my SIP system works like. So thanks for watching from my today's video.